Afternoon Legends. I actually just tried to do my Best Buys video and I clicked record and then apparently it clicked off again after a second. So, damn. My longest video of the week. I've got to re-record. So I'm going to do it tomorrow. Don't have enough time to redo that one. So we're going to go through some of the teams and do that early. And then once we got all the info, I'll get all that out tomorrow with the Best Buys video and also the holds and the sells. Post-Origin, we'll have more information, which will be great. Now into the private crew, which we do. These are the guys that get that extra help. But just want to talk about Andrew and his squad. He picked up 929 last week. It was incredible. And we'll go through some different rankings and different teams, just like we did last week. But with Andrew, he did loop a bit. And that's just something that you do need to look at, guys. There's really important information that you can gather and across the weekend with injuries, with concussions, all this type of stuff that do occur. And if you have 3 available guys for 2 spots, you can safety loop players like Garrick. He only had the wing fullback, but similar to me, you can see how he goes. If he gets 2 and you wanted to buy someone anyway in that position over the next few weeks, you can fast track that and get their score in. So to prove your week there, improve your ranking, and then have that player anyway, which is a very, very simple way of going about things. But with Andrew here, first thing I'm going to look up with all these teams is how many players are playing in round 18, which is going to be helpful. And he's in a similar situation to me with Lucas and Farnworth. He has Teddy, who is available in wing fullback. He's got Garrick for the number 2. He has Savala for halfback. He has Katonga. So in that position there, in centre and wing fullback, he's in a tougher spot with a few of those guys missing round 18. So he's going to have to make some trades in that position to get himself in a good spot. Trades are definitely a factor and not utilizing all of them, and definitely not making any luxury trades at this point to make sure that he can stick in that top 10. But he also wants to have a full team come round 18 to leave himself in a really good spot. All right, let's go down a little bit further. We've got Les down there in 100th on the dot, who was in a very similar spot last week there. But looking down in this spot, this is the one we want to be focusing on over the next few weeks, guys, is that wing fullback and center. Because not everyone has them filled, and depending on how many trades you've got remaining, it can be a very, very tough operation to get all those players. And this is where the benefit of having Drinkwater, yes, he didn't score very well, but the benefit of having him is you have a lot of wing fullbacks available in that week. And now he does have Pappenhausen, Teddy, and Drinkwater, which leaves him full for that week, and then has Garrick for the center spot. So this is awesome. This is a team where he's a bit more well set up in that position than what myself or what Andrew are in our teams. When he's looking at half, he's got Savala in that spot, which is good, and we'll need another half, given he doesn't have King Tonga. This is a situation here where a Jerome Hughes makes a lot of sense, guys, as an easy trading target. But when he's looking at his team there, which guy would you actually trade out? With Kolomatangi looking like a hold now, he did grab Duncan last week, which was great. But the only guy that you could potentially look at selling would be a Hosking, and then you have to look at edge as well. And how many of his edges are available in round 18? He does have Aiken and White. If Colo's back, he's got Duncan, he's got Couch. So he's very well set up in that top spot. This team, it's basically Hughes and then deciding on one more center. We'll leave Les in good stead there. Now, we got Adam, he's got the 2 teams there. I talked to him plenty. We'll leave him out of this one. Ollie, we also spoke about last week. Isaac, let's get into Isaac's team. He's sitting at 540th there. 904 last week. And set up down below is going to be Garrick, Teddy. He's got Savala, King Tonga. Cool. He's got Lawson. How exciting that's going to be. Is this a team where, Carraz's, these type of guys next week will be a factor? He's sitting with the 2 cheapies in King Tonga and Lawson right now. So I wouldn't suggest... Oh, and Ielu as well. So I wouldn't suggest going for any more of those guys. Maneuvering a few of these mid-range players like Riley Smith could help him set himself up. And the problem here with these guys coming into round 18 is I'd find it more difficult in this situation to buy one of the cheaper centers or wing fullback, because that means you are sitting with another mid-range or another cheaper guy that doesn't serve you going into later rounds. Because if you're sitting there with 3 or 4 of these mid-range, like 400-ish K or cheaper guys in your side, it's going to make it very, very tough to have a really strong 17 come weeks where you have 2 out in a buy or 1 out in a buy, and then you have these 3 cheapies sitting there. So you're basically banking on luck each week to have your full 17 without needing to trade or taking one of these lower scores. So that's something to think about. Maybe come round 18, if he does need to cycle through the position, he wants to buy Hughes, and that's fine, like if that's the case. And then cycling like a King Tonga to one of the other mid-range type of guys that help in that week. That would be the only kind of factor I think that would work well in a side like this is, recycling one of those guys. So they help you in that week, but they don't increase the amount of mid-range or cheapies that you do have. So that's Isaac. Scroll down a bit further. We got Cooper in 1,087. So 846 for him last week, a really good score there. All right. Preston, got Preston for round 18. That'll be hectic. Teddy and Garrick down there. Lawson. Okay, definitely a team as well that needs to work on a few of those positions. Waiting for Drinky could be cool. Pappenhausen could be a fun one. Guys like Reece Walsh that people want to have a stab at. But he does have a few players that could be cycled through over the next few weeks in Riley Smith, in Munster. Some people are moving on from Hosking. He's got Beaufort Moore. He's got Hubner as the guy to move on from, I think. I would do it, definitely. So there's probably the 3 there, Hubner, Riley, and Munster, to try and turn a few of these guys into players that help him for the all-important round 18 especially. You've got King Tonga here. There's no Savala. So that half position is something you might want to have a look at and making some improvements there, along with the centre and the wing fullback. So as we're seeing with a lot of the teams, guys, that's the spot to focus on, and that's the big part of this video, is making sure that you have a look at all those guys. All right, let's take a look at a team that's close to me, Mr. Michael Whitford. What's he? 8 points behind. Not too shabby, mate. All right, so 865 for him last week, sitting at 1,578. Down there has Rob Toy still. Very interesting. So he'll be cycled through and moved on over the next few weeks. Purdue in there at centre. I just think you hold on to him now with the issues that we have in the position. He's going to be a guy that helps with that. He's got Fogarty, Savala, and King Tonga. So this is a situation where I wouldn't push Jerome Hughes into the side because you already have the 3 available in that week. If Savala was to lose his spot, then you just got a bit unlucky and you might have to make some adjustments following that. Heath Mason's in the side as the cheaper price point with King Tonga there. So not a real big room in this side for another cheapie. And he's sitting there with Haas still on the side. No Cleary? Oh, he moved on from Cleary. There you go, instead of Haas. So I think in this scenario now, probably holding on to Payne would be the correct play. And working out what to do with guys like Toya to help him down in this position here. The rest, and also that doesn't need the half spot. So really it's just the center or the wing fullback, getting another good player in that spot, and then seeing what we need to do up here in the mids. We've got Nafahu White, Couchman available for round 18 with Tarpanay and Terrell May. So there's 4 there. Nafahu White could go, or Couch could go back down to the edge position, which would be good with Colin Matangi there. So pretty well set up top, and probably just injuries over the next few weeks will determine which players come out of your side and go into the certain positions that you need. All right, let's go to 3,200 here with Caleb. Good stuff, mate. 848 for you here. With his side down the bottom, we've got Tarpanet and Fogarty. They're going to play around 18. He's got Holmes already, which is pretty fun. Nwangi Tuaze, Garrick down there. So again, more help needed in this spot. He's just got Fogarty and King Tonga. No Savala in this side. It has Duncan, Kolomatangi, Tavanga, Couchman up top, which is good to add in Taps. And May and move Duncan down. So yeah, as you can see, majority of the sides are well set up top and just need to make some improvements down here. And now you can make little punts with mid-range guys and whatever else if your team trades are a lot higher. But if they're not, it can make it a bit tougher for sure. So as we know, guys, across these weeks here, across the bye period, it's very, very hard to differentiate too much, especially in these positions that are harder. You've got the odd guy that you can take a flyer on, the Walshes, the Turbos, these types of guys. Nwangani Tawaze is an easy hold. Is it worth just sticking solid with Lawson if he keeps in the side? There's not too many guys there that you're like, well, I can get Teddy who has 70, 80 upside. I can get Karaz, same thing. Or I can go for this other guy that, is just okay. Like Pappenhausen's a good pod. But when it comes to the later parts of the season, then like the Troll Mitchells and these type of guys come into it and it becomes a bit more fun. Whereas during this period, I think you need to be a bit more straight bat, make sure you have the correct plays, not make too many big mistakes, so then you can do well in the back end of the season with some more trades available. Because if you're going too nuts, mucking around with different things, taking punts, you usually have to make trades to fix them up. If you've run out of those trades, you then have to be straight bat for the back end of the year, which becomes less fun and you can usually make up less ranks. So keep that in mind when you're looking at your sides. Trade for what your team needs, not for what you want. So if it doesn't fit, don't do it. At this stage, I think unless you're like 10 plus trades, then you have that little bit of luxury. But outside of that, don't do it, but still have fun and enjoy Origin tonight and enjoy setting up your team. We'll get the best buys out, we'll get the holds and sells, and we'll go from there. See you guys. Thank you.